Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tolkien Collector's Guide live stream of the Lord of the Rings Gollum game from Daedalic. We're going to get started here in just a moment. I am going to show you the launch day trailer here real quick, and then we will talk about this game and how much fun it is. It's glad to have you here.
Gnaws iron, bites steel, grinds hard stones to kneel. So shiny, yes, so beautiful. My precious.
The darkness grows beyond our borders. My people are growing anxious. We cannot let this evil linger among us, Gandalf.
The Dark Lord, what did you tell him?
Nothing. I swears.
The Lord sent me, his emissary, to oversee matters in person. The creature, bring it back. Kill it, if need be.
We must find help. He mustn't see us. No, not him. Don't be scared.
That was fantastic. Glad to have you guys here. Welcome, Trotter, Mr. Underhill. We just watched the trailer. I'm excited for this game. I've been seeing pieces of it for a few months now. If you remember, I wrote that behind-the-scenes sneak peek that we had a month or so ago. You guys have had a chance now to play it for a little bit as well. So, first impressions, what do you think?
I haven't played it too much, but I'm certainly quite enjoying what I've played of it so far, and I think it's something that we might come back to quite a bit on this. But realistically, if you're a Tolkien fan, then games like this are great. This is exactly the sort of thing that gets you into Middle-earth. I think it's really what you want. It's the appeal of these games, I think, really for
I think that this is a great game to play with if you have kids who are sort of inclined to gaming, and you are a fan of Tolkien yourself. I think this would be a great game to play with not your young kids, but your older kids. I'd say in the junior high range, 11 to 12. That was the impression that I got. Was that this would be a great game to play with middle-aged kids, I guess is what we're going to call them.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it so far. My son is more of a gamer in our family than I am, so he played it a little bit earlier this week as well to give me his feedback. Do we have some audio coming from you, Andrew?
Yeah, I just started the game, but I'm just going to minimize the audio on it.
Perfect. Yeah, so, my son, he's 19 now. He's enjoyed it, playing it so far. He is pointing out something I think we've seen from a couple of other reviewers who had early access this weekend, which is, there's some texturing issues that some of the playthroughs have had. There's a day one patch that should have dropped today. I haven't checked to see if it's out there yet.
I didn't get that. I haven't had a patch today, so that might be a bit later on.
Yep.
Releasing that.
Yep.
There was some new NVIDIA drivers for this today, which is quite interesting. They tend to do that nowadays. They'll bring out new drivers when a game comes out, and so there was some new ones today for Gollum.
Yeah.
Which that could be the patch actually that they're talking about.
What do y'all think about the graphics and the sort of like feel of the world that Gollum is inhabiting? Is it Tolkien-esque to y'all? What do y'all think about that?
I've only been playing it in Mordor so far, but it certainly looks like a horrible place that you wouldn't really want to go to, which is exactly what I think Mordor should be.
Right. Yeah.
And I quite like the fact that Gollum has a cave at the beginning. It's not the same one that's in the Misty Mountains, but he's redecorated it somewhat to make it very, very similar to the one that he has in that he had in the Misty Mountains.
I like the artistic approach that they've taken. I'm not talking about game rendering quality here, but just the style, the artistry that they've taken to it. I do think it feels Tolkien-esque. I've seen 5 or 6 of the chapters at this point, at least glimpses and snippets of, to go through those, and the rendering is not an issue for me personally. I mean, my main gaming platform is a Switch, handheld, like not hooked up to the TV. So I'm less concerned personally with the graphics. I know that's not everyone's approach to this, but I love the look and feel. I love the concept art. We'll take a peek at some of the still images that they've shared us from various scenes. You guys can comment on those as well when we pull those up. But I'm really enjoying it so far, and there are a lot of Easter eggs hidden, so multiple playthroughs and peeking in corners is well rewarded in a game like this. I think there's a lot of care.
When you play the game, you can be more Gollum and Smeagol, so you can sometimes you get asked at points, do you want to do something as Gollum or a Snoop?
Yeah, I was curious about how they were going to handle that.
Yeah. And it depends what you pick. It depends how the gameplay turns out later on.
Yep.
It's a shame, really, because obviously I'm probably just going to play it all as Gollum, and I'm not bothered with Smeagol at all. I think you miss out. You don't miss out on things, so you've got to do it again. Yeah.
You're more stinker than slinker.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's kind of like a choose your own adventure sort of style, right? You can play as Gollum or you can play as Smeagol, right? You can kind of see what the outcome is for both of these things here. I like the way the characters sort of look, the feel of the characters that Gollum is interacting with. It feels pretty Tolkien to me. I was worried they
look like too much the films, but that's what I was about to say. They sound like the characters in the films, which I thought was interesting. So Andy Serkis is sort of being impersonated as Gollum, and Gandalf does sound like Ian McKellen. Now, I don't think it's them doing it, but it does sound like them.
Yeah, Andy Serkis's Gollum casts such a long shadow. It's what everybody thinks of now when they think of Gollum. So I think it would be kind of strange if the game tried to. I don't know. I don't think it would. People would like that. I wonder if they did any focus groups with with what people wanted to see as Gollum. I just think people would kind of be turned off at this point because the circus sort of thing is so ingrained in everybody now.
Well, that is Gollum, isn't it? Really, for most people.
Yeah.
Probably my favourite Gollum is Peter Woodfall, but most people have either not forgotten what he sounds like and not listened to the radio adaptation or the Ralph Bakshi, because he was Gollum in that as well. I think it was the Ralph Bakshi.
Yeah, I watched the Bakshi film not too long ago, and the Gollum seems strange now because it had been so long since I'd seen it. And so,
yeah, because you're used to it being Andy Serkis though now, so I think they probably have done the right thing there. And Gollum does look like the CGI version of Gollum in the Peter Jackson films, whereas Gandalf doesn't really look anything like Gandalf. which is quite good. I think they shouldn't be exactly the same.
What do y'all think about them picking Gollum as the character to build the game around?
I love it. Personally, I think the duality of his character in the books is something that gives you a lot of space to play with the video game itself without, going to we know how this particular story ends. Those who've read the books know what the end of the video game is going to reach, right? That's one of the things I asked the game developers a month ago was how much control as a gamer do you have over the plot when your book ended? Literally, where this game starts and ends. Do you feel like you have agency? And I think the mechanism of Gollum really does give you that agency to enjoy the game and see what's different when you know where you're going to end up, at the end of all things. So I really like that.
Yes, obviously, ultimately, I think if you play as Gollum or Smeagol, it's not going to make any difference to what really happens at the end, is it?
It's just how you get there. It's just how you get to that end, right?
Yeah, it's how you get there. Yeah, you're still going to get there. You're still going to get to that, to the end.
Yeah, and one of the things they've mentioned a couple of times, I haven't been able to play through multiple times in depth enough to get to this, but there's at least one chapter that is completely different for you as a player based on the choices you made leading up to it. So if you're leaning more towards Gollum, you get one playthrough, and if you're leaning more towards Smeagol, you have a very different chapter. Like the playthrough is scripted completely differently for what you can do and what you see.
See, and I do like that. That lends itself to multiple playthroughs, which gives the game more longevity, which is good. I like that.
Yeah, the gameplay I think, is meant to be about 20 hours. But of course, that's just 20 hours on. I'll probably end up playing it through twice because I probably will. I'll do it as Gollum to begin with, because obviously, but then it's going to be. Then I'll have a go at Smeagol and do it at Smeagol and see what the difference is. I like things like that. I think that's good. I think it's a good way to do it.
Yeah,
it encourages you to play it more than once.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a high death count, not able to do jumps and parkour and platforming.
Well, you have to do a lot of that, and there's lots of sneaking and hiding.
Yeah,
they all make sense really though for Gollum, because that's what he does. He's a. He's not like Boromir. You can't imagine really sort of Boromir doing this, running around sneaking and hiding, and he just come charging out, and that's it.
Yep.
So timeline-wise, just for us and our viewers here, timeline-wise, the game takes place in between Gollum losing the ring to Bilbo and what takes place.
Him turning up at Moria, I think.
Yeah, before the War of the Ring, right? So all this is in between The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings, correct? Like chronologically.
Well, I think it ends with him going into Moria in the Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Turning up at Moria.
So
it's that time period between him disappearing from the Misty Mountains to go to Moria.
Okay.
Yeah, and honestly, in the books, we don't know much of what happened in that time period, right? Gandalf, we know, interviews him. We don't know if he's telling the truth or not. During that interview process, when Gandalf recounts that in the Council of Elrond. So, yeah, it's an interesting time.
Because Tolkien doesn't give us anything of what Gollum's doing, really. So,
well, it's a bit. He tells us what Aragorn goes out to hunting.
Yep.
Yeah,
and then he gets
like, I tried. I tried.
Yeah. And then he ends up in Mirkwood, and the orcs come and amazingly happen to know which tree he's in and rescue him. Which is, how do they know that? That I'm hoping that there's something like that might come up in the game, because that would be interesting. How do they know what tree he's in? Because there are rather a lot of trees in that area for them to go to.
Well, I think for the Tolkien fan too, Jeremy was talking about the Easter eggs. I think
that's the sort of thing, isn't it?
That's a good incentive to kind of play through the game too. Is to kind of, I think that's fun, looking for those Easter eggs and discovering those things that the programmers put in for you to find.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's a goal of the the writers for this particular game was to answer a lot of these questions in their own way, not in a book canon. This is literally what happened, but this is what could have happened. And circling back to what we mentioned before, the fact that we don't know means you can tell that multiple different ways, and there might be in-game different ways that gets told based on your choices as you're playing through this. So I am looking forward to multiple playthroughs. I am looking forward to the Switch release, because that'll let me really relax and enjoy this in my preferred gaming style, and the time and the locations that I'm able to play video games. So, and that's not too far off. I think that's one of the things when people are complaining that this game isn't using the highest end graphics, etc. I think they have made a choice to be multi-platform, right? This is dropping on PlayStation 4 and 5 and a couple of Xbox consoles, PC, and Switch is forthcoming. They're really aiming to have this be playable as widely as possible, rather than only on the latest bleeding edge hardware.
Yeah, and like I said before, I think it'll be it's a good game to play with your kids if you've got them. If you're into Tolkien and your kids are at all inclined for fantasy, I think it would be good to play with the kiddos.
And obviously, Gollum's a great character that appeals to children, because he's basically what you shouldn't be doing, isn't he? Really, he's the opposite of what should happen. Do you want to play the start of the game, which is the cinematic?
Yeah, let me cue that up, and we'll play that real quick. It's easier than playing off your game. So just momentarily here. All right, I think that is good. Let's pull this up and.
Without me, eyes are marbles, no darkness they see. Faces look garbled, no flurry they feel. No breath, no cheer, death not to fear. Time is not spent, roses has no scent. At nothing you can marvel without me. But it wasn't roses, my precious, not roses. Lilies. Not lilies, not roses. Which one was it, precious? Quiet! Someone's coming.
In a hat and a cage upon his back.
We may provide you with a cart. There is no hope for him, I fear. The creature is lost.
Well, let's see how he responds to some light.
I do like the voice acting.
Someone tortured him long before the Dunedain found him.
This is cool.
The
I like this.
darkness grows beyond our borders. My people are growing anxious. We cannot let this evil linger among us.
I like the tree on his head as well. That's fun.
I was going to say that's an interesting take on the Elven King.
That's what I feared. What did he hope to find, I wonder?
It's kind of it's a little off-putting that Gandalf's beard is not gray.
Maybe it's gray and brighter light. Starting to look.
Why don't we start with your name?
You're
You're
right.
real.
You're just like Ian McKellen. says
Not the
exactly.
one others have given you.
Yes. It's pretending to be Ian McKellen, the voice.
Yeah.
definitely.
The Gollum doesn't sound
Very
that close
well.
to Andy Serkis, but
Let
the
us
game
try
sounds-
someone else's name. Bilbo Baggins. Yes, you remember him.
I do like the kind of storyboard.
He
Yeah,
found
the drawings are very
more
good.
than 60 years ago, deep underneath the roots of the Misty Mountains.
It's kind of like what they do for if anybody's seen
took
Mandalorian,
something
like the
from
post-credit scenes from Mandalorian.
Bilbo looks a bit mean there as well. I think that's Gollum remembering him. I don't think that's
Yeah, it's
not
from
being very
Gollum's point of
nice.
view. Yeah.
Yeah, from Gollum's point of view.
I don't think he liked Bilbo.
No, I don't think he did.
No.
You were
No, I
looking
don't.
for it, weren't you?
These are like his memories, you know. That's why they're kind of cartoony, sketchy.
You left your home in the mountains, worming your way down the hills, always hiding from the moon. You followed the Hobbit's trace all the way east to the Lonely Mountain.
It's quite nice. A version of the, and I like Dale being burned.
But then you
Oh
stopped
no, it's
and
Yeah,
turned
that's
south.
a nice touch.
Dale.
Why?
Yeah.
Something must have drawn you away.
It's almost like a
A
manga.
voice calling you to the land of shadow,
Leave us alone.
whispering your name in your dreams.
There's the stairs.
Minas Morgul.
Yep.
So, once again, what is your name?
Eagle.
Very well, Smeagol. Now, let us start at the beginning.
They got the year
Have to
correct.
Pick a
It's good.
beginning. Little hint there of who we might meet up here in these mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder who lives in a nice place like this.
Who lives in the pass of Kirith Ungol?
I don't know. Yeah.
Not sure I'd want to be flying in this weather.
No.
I just don't know if Mordor is a place I ever want to go. Not
Well,
maybe
you
not even
can't-
not
You
even in the
can't
game.
walk into Mordor, but you can fly in quite easily.
Yeah.
that's quite easy.
We haven't flooded the volcano to make it further back in history. But
I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
one thing I do like, I mean, all games do this, but it was kind of enjoyable for me going through the first chapter was how much walkthrough of the game mechanics they were able to cram into the first couple of minutes of the game to help you
Yeah.
how to get around, what visual cues to use to know what to do.
I think this is much wetter than Mordor is supposed to be. Mordor is supposed to be much drier, I think.
Well, it's got a whole,
Yeah,
got a
so
whole,
yeah, I guess it is meant to be quite dry, but there must be some water in Mordor.
I get
Must
yeah. I
rain
guess
occasionally.
there could be some. I just don't know how. Yeah, that's true. I always think of Mordor as a desert. But how many times do Frodo and Sam stumble on small bits of water?
Yes,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you can't drink the water. You only drink water going into it, not coming out, can't you?
You can't drink the water in the Morgul Vale, but you can.
Yeah.
But they drink it. Once they get past that, they drink
They can
several
drink it.
water. Yeah.
I mean, they do raise an army there, and there is the Sea of Huon. Well, that's north. There's what's the sea in Mordor?
Can it's not can, is it? It's,
Oh, I don't remember. I have to look it up.
runes in Mordor.
Anyway, it's it is a bit rainy at the beginning there. I'm not too concerned.
Oh, I'm just nitpicking. I'm
I
just
know.
nitpicking.
No, it's all good. So yeah, it's got a good cinematic cutscenes built through it. That one I think was was very true to what we know from the books. You know, the interview that Gandalf had with Smeagol when he was in Mirkwood. That's sort of the framing of a lot of the game, is this interview and what happened, and Smeagol / Gollum trying to explain that to Gandalf going through. So it'll jump back and forth between the historical, from Gollum's perspective, you know, his memories of how he got captured and sent to Mirkwood. So
yes. So obviously you get with the game, there are various other things that you get with it. There's some different versions of the game. So
How many different places in Middle Earth do you get to go in this game? I don't think I found that out.
I think most of it is pretty much around Mirkwood and Mordor.
yep.
So you get to visit Mirkwood, Mordor, and anywhere else.
I don't think you might go to the Misty Mountains, I suppose, but I don't think he would. Well, I suppose you end up at Moria as well, so you're probably going to end up there.
Oh yes, yeah. So you do get to go to the Misty Mountains.
Yes, you get to go to the Misty Mountains. So it's all in that area.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be quite nice actually if he just turned up in Hobbiton. That'd be quite good. But I don't think that's slightly law breaking. It's like, but that I think that could happen.
You don't get to visit Eriador, I guess, you don't get to cross over.
No.
Eriador.
Yep.
You're in Brohaven.
No, I think it's primarily the two locations. So being in the woods of Mirkwood and then in various parts of Mordor as you go through. I mean, he tries to sneak in, right? He's he's following something, and he gets in there, and he ends up being captured, and he gets interviewed, if you will,
Interrogated.
and then gets sent back out again, right? Or escapes. We'll have to see how the gameplay treats that. Then he ends up.
I'm interested. Yeah.
I'm interested too. I haven't had enough time. There's not very many people reviewing it at this stage. It's launch day who have played it all the way through. Certainly it was possible. I'm sure there's at least one reviewer out there who's played it through, but we have not. We're looking forward to it. I'm excited to see what's in store for me. It's gonna be a fun playthrough, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I'm definitely not a gamer. I don't spend a whole lot of time playing video games. Like I'm not a Lotro person. But I think this game, playing it over the last couple of days is definitely. I think I will spend some time going through this game. It seems relatively easy to play, and it seems like it should be fun.
Cool. Yeah. Trotter, you've played a lot of Lord of the Rings Online, so
yes,
give us some thoughts on comparing the two just from that background.
Definitely.
Well, obviously, Gollum's fairly extensively in the Lord of the Rings Online, but he just tends to turn up as a non-player character. So you do have things like the Woodman, for instance, have this character who's going around attacking children and things. And of course, you don't know who it is for ages, but of course, after a while, you work out who it might be. And he actually gets captured at one point by outside a house. You can put some fish on a rock, and Gollum just runs straight over towards the fish, basically. So to actually capture him, it really is all about fish and rings. And but the Lord of the Rings Online obviously is you can't ever play as Gollum, and I think that's the difference in this game, is that you can actually play as a completely horrible character. which is quite a nice thing to do, because lots of games you can't. It's quite nice occasionally to play as someone who's not very nice. I actually think though that Gollum in here looks a lot better. The model for Gollum is a lot better than it is in Lord of the Rings Online. He doesn't look as. I think he looks a lot better in this.
One of the things I saw when I was reading through the information that they sent to us on the game, one of the things that struck me was that one of the reasons they chose Gollum as the character for the game is they wanted to paint him in sort of like a more positive light. Like I don't have it in front of me, but they said something about how Gollum is typically vilified, and they're not entirely sure that that's entirely justified, and that was one of the reasons why they chose him to base the game around, which I thought was interesting. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's, I think we're all, as longtime book readers and media consumers, we know how the dichotomy resolves at the very end, right?
Yeah.
And that can color your perception of saying, oh, he at the end he makes a certain choice and he is consumed by his desire for the ring itself, and so you don't, knowing that, you don't feel the pull of Smeagol, and that he might be redeemable, and that there might be some good in him somewhere. Whereas when you are exposed to this for the first time, we saw this in the early 2000s with the Peter Jackson movies, of these new fans who hadn't read the books, and they were more sympathetic to Smeagol, until they got to the end of the movie. And I think this gameplay really allows us ourselves, the ones who know how it's going to end, but you can still get a better sense of feel of the duality of his personality and his sometimes desire to not necessarily do good, but not be evil, right? He might be a little bit selfish. He's certainly not a good person, but he's not irredeemable either.
No, he's not. Ultimately, of course, his character did change in the Tolkien changed his character, but he was still a pretty horrible person even in the first time he turned up. He did want to eat Bilbo, so he wasn't exactly that friendly.
And his origin story is not rife with charitable work.
Oh, no.
Look at how he acquired the ring in the first place, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of retconned in, right? So, Tolkien didn't have that in mind when he wrote The Hobbit in the 1930s.
No, it was just a magic ring. A very convenient plot.
Tolkien didn't have a lot in mind when he wrote The Hobbit in the 1930s.
He was a fun little character, or large if you look at some artists' impressions of him.
Oh yes, we should have had that ready to go, Jeremy. One of the where Gollum is like the size of a building.
I know there's some fantastic misinterpretations there, but I mean, you try living in a cave for a couple hundred years, you'd be hungry too, and
see what kind of mood you're in.
Yes. Yeah, you've got fish and orcs to eat. That's really, so I suppose Bilbo would be a bit of a difference. It was something different to have.
Yeah. You want to fire up your game for a little bit?
Yeah.
You can just kind of watch over your shoulder while we keep chatting.
Yeah. We can make some comments while you're going through it.
Yeah, comments about how bad I am at the game.
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely going to tease you.
That's all of us, I think. If you.
Yeah, there's a reason we're not going through my gameplay.
So, can you hear the game sound?
I am hearing the game sound. Sounds good.
So just swap over so I can present. Share screen. So, I want to hide that as well. I can hide that bit at the bottom anyway. I'll have to leave that on there. So you can see.
Yes, bird. It watches us. It spies on us. Catch it. Grab it. Throttle it.
So it gives you some clues in the game as to what to do. So, for instance, if you look at the walls here, there's vines on it, but you can climb up those.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, you can just look around. You can't. It's quite clever because you can't climb up that side. So there's no point, but you can climb up here.
Right.
And then it will tell you.
Yeah, I do like it's giving you little visual cues of the controls as you're going through and learning.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's especially when you're first starting out. That's needed.
One of the things I didn't really know about was these white lines. It says sprint towards the wall. So what I did was I just pushed the button in, and then but those white lines are amazing. That means that Gollum will automatically go up them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually quite useful. So all you have to do is just sort of charge towards it, and he automatically goes up by himself.
Okay.
Because sometimes those bits are very difficult, but they've actually, I think they've made it fairly a bit easier by making him automatically
Yep.
do it. And again, you can see there's a yellow ledge. That means he can jump onto that.
Mm-hmm.
So they do give you some clues as to.
They've given Gollum a lot more hair than you're used to seeing him with.
Yeah, he hasn't been to the barbers yet. I think the immortal barbers they're just around the corner.
They're going to take a little bit more than just a little off the top.
Yeah, I think this comes back to what you mentioned before, Mr. Underhill, that they do want him to be a little more visually appealing than what we've seen in other renderings of him. So it's a little more childlike, a little more hair, a little bit bigger eyes. Saw a little bit of that in the movies as well. When he's in Smeagol mindset, he definitely has sort of a different facial expression, and I think they were going.
Yeah,
for that here.
You're right. His face kind of changes subtly like that. So, Trotter, do you have a clear sort of like mission or mandate that you're on here, or are you walking around?
Well, can you see there's a little yellow dot on
Mm-hmm.
there? I have to go towards a yellow dot.
Okay, got it.
Yeah,
and in this case, you've got to try and capture this bird that spotted you in this bit.
Yep. Yeah. So Smeagol's aware that the bird is a spy, and he's trying to catch it. And that's what's luring him, through the pass and into dangerous territory.
Yeah. Now this bit, this is the sort of thing that I like in a game. So you might probably don't want to say anything for a while. Let's see what happens when I go over here. I seem to think this is the bit where somebody turns up, but I might have got that slightly wrong. Oh no, I've got to go up here. Okay, sorry. There's a bit coming up in a minute, which is fantastic. I have to run that.
This is what I look like when I'm playing this game.
Yeah, I'm like, come on,
sitting
you can
in
do
the
it.
corner going, I'm running, I'm not going anywhere.
Here, turn around. I'm trying to turn around.
I know. I think I mentioned it in my write-up of the sneak peek a month ago, but yeah, we had sort of a human guide who was on the channel with us to talk us through, just to kind of give us explanation of what was going on, and he and I were laughing at how inept I was being at playing the game through the live sneak peek.
Dirty little spy. Squeeze it. Yes, squeeze the closer. And then we eat.
Now, what I like about this, there's no clues here at all as to who else might be here, is there really? Like
There's a few, yeah.
But I wonder what this is. It's just here.
I wonder who made that.
Yeah, they're quite big as well. I wonder what sort of size that might be.
And they're getting bigger the further you go.
Yeah. And Smeagol doesn't have Sting to cut through any of that stuff.
So this does look like a very nice place, really.
It does. No, it does not.
Oh, if you go in the fire, she doesn't like that very much. She gets burned. So don't go to them. But
accurate.
that's quite nice. I like the fact that about the fires, because he doesn't like fire.
Nice touch.
Oh, I don't know who's making all these fires.
Well, yeah, exactly. There's you're certainly getting closer to someone's civilization. It might not be
Yeah.
a civil civilization, but
We're getting close to an orc town or orc settlement. I do like how they have these brambles that Gollum can climb up, which is accurate, right? That's how Tolkien describes Mordor, with lots and lots of brambles and
Yes. And again, it's a nice visual clue as you can as to where to go, and then the yellow marker to show that you can go around here.
yeah, a little bit of this first chapter is setting the tone, obviously, but also really forcing you to exercise the controls for how to climb, jump, sprint.
how to get used to playing the game.
Exactly. So there's a lot of it all piled up together. I think you can do an up jump here.
Oh yeah, you can jump up here. Now this bit here is where you can start hiding, and you can actually hide in the bushes. So I go over towards the bushes. Yeah. And he goes all black. So that means that they can't see him when he's
When he goes dark like that.
When he goes dark, yeah, which I didn't realise about that to begin with. So of course I'm just wandering around and going up and saying hello to them, and that doesn't work out very well if you go and say hello to the orcs. They don't seem to be that friendly. But again, it's nice that you've got the little arrow at the side, because you have to go over there, but stay in the bushes.
There are a couple of name drops there between those two orcs that book readers would be familiar with.
Yeah, I saw that.
I think I tried this like 4 times while I was in the sneak peek playthrough. That was not
so
my forte.
if you get captured by the orcs, what happens?
You die.
Oh, you die. Okay.
You gotta go back to a checkpoint and try and sneak past them again.
So what you have to do with this one, and I worked this one out, is you have a little bar that comes up when you're sprinting, and you want to get the bar as high as possible. So if I turn around and then push the button, a bar will appear when I move, and then I can press A when it.
Okay.
And that gets you across.
Oh, okay.
So that's the beginning. But again, this is something that once you've done this a bit, you can play. But otherwise, you keep falling off all the time. You just fall off and off. But it does give you clues on the screen, so I can drop down here.
Yeah, I think the clues are definitely necessary. It would be, you would have no idea where to go, really.
Yes. Oh, that's him getting into the fire, which he doesn't like.
Oh, I hear the spy.
That's a spy. He's flying off again. I think there's some orcs down the bottom.
There's somebody's dinner.
And the red bit, I think, means they can see me. So I'm just going to jump over here.
Oh, close call.
They left.
The orcs look pretty good. I like.
They do actually, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, good in a bad way, right? Because they're orcs, but they look pretty. The weaponry that they have, the costumes, pretty good clothing.
We never left the clouds. Why is it asking us?
Because he's lying about it. Yes.
Two of them. Two little croakses.
So I need to go up there. Let's jump up there. Yeah. He's very good at jumping, he's Gollum. He's certainly very athletic.
Ooh, I see like Mount Doom in the background. The eyes are wild.
Yes, they are. They're,
Ooh, I see
I
the
wonder
dark
what that
tower.
tower is. I wonder. Yes.
Doesn't see us. No, not him. His eye sees all, they says. All lands and mountains might see Baggins.
It's looking for Baggins, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't listen.
Going the wrong way. I like the way that they have the dark tower in the background. That's pretty cool. I like the look of it. It's very ominous feeling. Oh,
Oh dear.
that's not good.
Certainly not.
Jeremy, you're muted.
You're absolutely right. I was just saying that's letting your stomach drive you.
Well, I don't know how many sort of shops there are in Mordor that he can nip into to get food. I mean, there's a lot.
These
Got
soft
some
landing spots.
vegetation there too, you know.
I know. Those are the crops to feed the orcs.
He will know, but it's two of them. Follow, but quiet. Stay in the shadows. What about the bird? Forget birds.
I'm telling you, it was that little
Mustn't lose them.
Whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, when you're hiding, you get like this infrared.
I was gonna say, it looks infrared.
There's another mode. I don't remember the key offhand, but you've got like there his perception mode. So Gollum, after hundreds of years, has a little bit better senses for seeing in the dark and stuff than his Hobbit ancestors. So you can pull
Than
that
your
mode
average.
up. It really helps you if you're stuck.
And close to them, precious.
A little bit sharper senses than your average steward.
That's right.
They're getting away.
Is he at the Black Gate? Is this where he is right
No,
now?
this is just some little fort up in the past.
Oh,
that
okay.
we're in right now.
Not sure how he's going to get in here, but anyway.
Up here.
So they never caught you yet. Then why are there torture marks on your hands?
Uh-oh.
Been discovered. Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, don't just walk through the gate. I'm sorry to say that.
Well, why not? That's an obvious way to go in. Just say, "Hello, I'm Gollum. Can I come in, please?"
Can I come in, please?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I do like I do like how whenever you have your Gollum sense on, like kind of like your Spidey sense, you have your Gollum sense on. The colors of the game change, and you can kind of clearly see that. That's pretty cool. I like that.
He will know, but it's two of them. Follow, but quiet.
Oh no,
Shadows.
Yeah, I think they found me, possibly.
they found you again. They found you right off the bat.
It's just question marks. I think you just stay hidden. Don't move. You gotta let those red question marks go yellow, and then try again.
Oh, he did. He
Oh,
did
he
sort of
got you.
find me that time.
Oh, you know you died. They came right out and said it this time. You died.
This game rewards patience and
Well, yeah, that's a nice thing to do. Just do it again until we work out. I do like the volcano in the background. It's nice as well.
He will know. And it's two of
Yeah, you can see quite a bit off in the distance, and you'll get closer to parts of it as you get further into the game.
But quiet. Stay in the shadows. What about the bird? Forget birds.
I'm telling you, it was that little one. She lost my friend. And see for years.
Can you change the difficulty level? Can you make it? Can you put it like on an easy?
I haven't seen any difficulty level. I think there is only one on it, so I don't think there is a. Oh yeah, well I can still see them. Now come on, that's not fair. I've got that far away. Yeah, you have to keep. In some cases, you have to keep quite close.
Yep.
To them. Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I think that's given people an idea of what the game looks like.
We have given the people what they want, definitely.
Yeah. Jeremy, you got sent something, didn't you? By.
Oh yeah, sure. Shall we crack that open? Daedalic.
Oh right, this was
sent me. I
was looking forward to this. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, just give me a moment to find a seam here because I have no idea what it is. I'm unboxing here for all of us together.
Let's see what this is.
I apologize for all the scratchy, scissory noises on my microphone.
It's hurting my ears.
Awesome. So all I could see so far is this cool little box in here.
Oh, that looks good.
That looks good, yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming there's a ring or something in there. That's what this is.
Oh, what? There you go.
Ring
logo on the front of it.
Excellent,
It's
excellent.
got a limitation number on the bottom.
Ooh. What's the limitation number?
I got number 97.
Awesome.
Of 230.
Got some nice,
nice
war on there.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's ring verse there. All right, so let me try and slide this and not let anything fall.
Ooh.
But, little wax sealed, cloth wrapped collection of. I'm just gonna start pulling things out one by one.
That's good.
So, little leather bag which has. I'm going to guess that this is a sharpening stone based on how it feels. Little wooden.
Is that like an? Oh, okay.
It's like a business card, but it's nice.
Gollum's business card.
Gollum's handing out business cards.
That's right. That's right.
Have you seen my ring? Give me a call.
That's all he wants. A little. Yeah, a little fish.
There you go. Yes.
Fish there. Yep. Yep. And
I'd hope it had like a nice Baggins doll you could stick pins into.
See
little
what
voodoo,
else is in
Bilbo
here.
Baggins
voodoo doll for a Bilbo.
Tiny little. See if I can get the angle right here. Little Eye of Sauron.
Okay.
Metal button or token. Looks like a little coin, actually.
Is it wrapped in like plastic? Okay.
Yeah, it came in a little plastic slip with a description of it, but
it's like a Roman coin or something.
Yep. And it says "Obey Mordor" is written in runes around the edges of it. So.
Well, you would anyway, wouldn't you? Really?
That's right.
I mean, you'd want to.
And
you're gonna get interrogated.
That's right. I know. All right. So here is a little scroll that's wrapped up in leather high sheet. So
is that pleather or is that leather?
I am gonna guess pleather, but I cannot tell.
Is that a map?
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. That's awesome.
Got the
excellent.
That's very good.
Yeah, no, I held it up to you first, but yeah, that looks.
That'll look good on the wall.
That's going to look really good. I like that map. That looks awesome. And then there were two paper scrolls in here that are very well tied. So I'm going to pick at them for a moment here. See if I can get this.
I wonder if they're I wonder if it's the same thing, just on the paper, maybe.
No, I think it is.
Oh.
I'm holding it upside down. There we go.
Music.
It's a sheet music.
The score, and on the flip side is
A poster.
I like that.
poster.
Yeah, that's a nice poster, that one.
Yeah.
The music for the game, I think you can download. You get that, and you can play that as well as part of the game. You can actually play the music.
Yeah,
as
the
a separate,
soundtrack. And
soundtrack.
there's, well, I pick at this not. There's also Sindarin voiceover, right? If you buy
Yes. The special edition.
the
You have to
special
pay
edition
Precious.
game.
Is it the
Yeah, you have
Precious
to-
edition? Yeah.
You have to pay them. You have to pay the money for the Precious Edition.
You do,
It's,
yes,
it's
the
a little
Precious
bit extra, but that's one of the, and there's a lot of background, like archives and behind the scenes stuff. I haven't poked through it yet, but all right. So let's unroll the second scroll. I finally got the string undone. Let's see what it is.
Awesome.
A little bit of background information on the video game itself.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then there's still more. Sorry, this is going to take me a while.
But wait, there's more.
But wait. This is
CD.
a little CD booklet, I think.
I bet that's
I
got
love
the.
the art that's inside.
Yeah,
That's good, isn't it?
I bet the CD's probably got the score on there. Maybe.
And then I'm not sure if it's a CD. It's a little bit large for that.
Could be a DVD.
The floppy disk.
No, it is vinyl.
Oh, it's a vinyl.
Oh,
right?
vinyl.
Oh, okay. It's like a 45.
Yeah, exactly. Little vinyl 45. Let's see. It has the Gollum theme and the Mirkwood theme. So it's a
Okay.
little single vinyl, gold vinyl.
HarperCollins is going to be producing those next. We're going to be getting 45s with.
Oh yeah, we'll have everything on vinyl.
With the next
now.
deluxe edition, we'll be getting 45s.
No more CDs. It'll be vinyl.
That's right. That's right. And tucked away in this
What's it
piece
got?
of burlap is.
Oh, coffee mug.
Got to add this to my little collection of mugs here behind me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, it's got a little textured coloring on. Cool. That's part of the burlap fabric. But yeah, no, coffee mug, and I think that I've hit bottom. But even the burlap itself is awesome. How can you go wrong with?
I think you've done very well out of that. I think that's great.
That is
And
a
at
nice
the
little
very
box.
bottom of the box is our
There he
friend.
is.
Very cool.
With his
The
precious.
dual- I like the dual nature of the art behind him.
Yes.
So that was a lot of fun to go through.
Yeah, the
Very cool.
artwork in that box is fantastic. I wonder who the artist is, or if it's multiple people.
It's probably some of the game artists, but that's a good question. We'll have to ask, and we'll see if we can figure that out. So that was an awesome little box. I love going through that.
Oh, that's right. So I think overall, coming back to the game, I think if you're a Tolkien fan like us, I think realistically you probably are going to like this game. I think you're going to enjoy it.
Found this hidden in the little leather bag.
Yeah, you're going to enjoy
Bonus
the
item.
game. So particularly since it's always nice to have any opportunity to get into Middle Earth. I think it's always good.
Yeah, I think the opportunity to play as Gollum is kind of a unique thing. The settings that I've seen so far, the scenery that I've seen feels very accurate to Tolkien. Aside from the little nitpicky things I was talking about earlier, the game feels like you're in. To me, I mean, from these initial walkthroughs, feels like you're in Middle Earth.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm going to say that I think it's a game that I'm going to probably play through twice, and it's unusual for me to play that many games. I've not only ever played Tolkien games, so it's quite nice to actually have one. And this one I prefer, I think, over something like Shadow of War, which I never played that one because I just thought that's got too silly, to be honest. The fact that Shelob wasn't a spider; she was a woman, and Conan Brimbor turned into some sort of Sauron, and it just got sillier and sillier.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I think, is a bit more trying to fit in with the books
This
than
one,
that was. Yeah.
yeah, I got the sense for this particular game that the creators, experts that they brought in or were on staff really love Tolkien from the perspective of growing up with it, reading the books, whatever other media exposure, but that first, and then they're trying to make a great game inside that environment. Whereas, as you were mentioning, the previous games, I haven't enjoyed so much. There's some like real-time battle strategy, which isn't my forte, so I haven't played them. But they're taking large-scale battle and just adding a Lord of the Rings wrapper to it. There's a new mobile game out from Electronic Arts that is like, oh, a new ring was found and everything's on the table now, and like Arwen's an evil character leading an army of orcs, and there's all this crazy stuff that they're just like, let's do mashups. And I get that mashups are popular in some environments. You get to like the Marvel and Capcom and all this other, there is an audience for that, and it can be fun, and it's just not mine. And this game really feels like, let's go delve into the books and let's have some imagination wrapped around what we know, but let's not take it and do something else with it. Let's just enjoy what Tolkien wrote and put it in a video game environment where you can have a little bit of that first person perspective and enjoy the story from a particular character's perspective, but not just go hog wild and start inventing, out of whole cloth, new plot lines and new stories and new characters. There's very minimal invention in this game, is the sense that I get, and it's much more a celebration of Middle Earth.
Yeah. So it's available, obviously, today on quite a few platforms, and I think it's coming out, as Jeremy said, in the fall for the Switch. And I said I'm going to say that, give it a try.
Absolutely. I do recommend it. I haven't played it through, so I'm not saying the journey is complete for me. I'm looking forward to it. Sounds like you guys are as well. Fantastic in my perspective. I'm looking forward to learning more and hearing other people's experiences with this.
Yeah,
definitely.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. This was a lot of fun. We should do these live streams more often. It's good to hang out with you guys, as always.
As always.
Right. Yeah, thank you. Thank you everyone for watching. And I hope you all enjoy the game.